My boyfriend, 24M, couldn't take care of me, 24F, after surgery and called me a burden. What to do? My boyfriend, 24M, and I, 24F, have been together for 4 years. Last week, I had some abdominal pain, so I decided to go get it checked out by my GP. She recommended that I go to the hospital as she thought it was something quite serious. I was pretty scared at this point, so I asked my boyfriend to come with me. This was during work hours, but he had no problems coming with me. We were in the hospital for about 6 hours before they diagnosed me with appendicitis and told me I needed to get surgery. He was with me the entire 6 hours and through all the tests they gave me before my diagnosis. He only left to get some food and get me my stuff as I had to stay overnight. He stayed until visiting hours were over. The next day, I had my surgery and my boyfriend came to visit me during his lunch break. I had a lot of muscle pain in my upper body due to the anesthetic and it was painful to even move around. I had to stay in the hospital for the rest of the day, but they told me I could leave that night. He came to pick me up and also picked up my painkillers for me. He helped me get into bed, then he went to play video games. I asked him to help me get ready to sleep, but he kept asking for one more game. I said I was already falling asleep and just wanted to brush my teeth and go to bed. He came down to help me, but he seemed to be in a rush to go back. He kept asking me what more I needed and went back to playing when he was done. The next morning, he made me breakfast and cleaned up our room as my parents were coming to visit me. I asked my mom to bring me a massager as my muscle pains were still unbearable. My mom gave us some food and he bought me some of it for lunch. He would help me get up and go to the bathroom when I needed to. After my parents left, I decided to take a nap, so he went to play some games. When I woke up, I needed to go to the bathroom, so I asked him to come help me. While I was in the bathroom, I got the muscle pains again and needed to lie down. I asked him to give me a massage with the massager and he asked me if I really needed it. I told him it was really painful, but he wouldn't do it. I started crying from the pain and he didn't even try to console me. One of our flatmates told us our cats had made a mess upstairs and he had to go clean it up. He got quite frustrated at this point and threw his phone on the ground. I could tell he was getting stressed, so I asked my mom to come pick me up. He came back and we started talking about why he couldn't help me. He said that he didn't want to take care of me and it was time-consuming. He didn't realize how much work it would be and that I was a burden. At this point, I started sobbing and caused myself a lot of pain in my abdomen. He asked me to stop because I was hurting myself, but he didn't do anything to console me. He started to help me pack my stuff to stay at my parents' house. He said he was sorry and he was disappointed in himself. When I was leaving, he apologized again. I've been staying at my parents' house since then. It's been a couple of days and I've talked to him about what he said and how it's hurt my feelings. He's apologized again for being selfish and how he should have put more effort in. He said he would understand if I wanted to end the relationship. I don't know what to do. I don't want to break up, but at the same time I can't stop thinking about what he said. I keep thinking about what would have happened if I was in a worse state or if my mom wasn't here. I can't imagine not wanting to take care of someone that I love. But I also can't think of any 24-year-old man being able to take good care of me. He's been a good boyfriend for the last 4 years, but I'm scared of what might happen if I get really sick or injured. What would happen if we decide to have a baby in the future, if he would be able to take care of me? I just need some advice on what to do. He said he would understand if I wanted to end the relationship. Is a sneaky way of him saying he does want to break up with you, but he wants you to do it so he doesn't look like the bad guy. He cares more about A, his games, and B, how others view him, than he does about you or your well-being. The moment he had to put an ounce of effort into caring for you, he's ready to abandon ship. But 100% he'd expect you to wait on him hand and foot if the roles were reversed here. Let that truth sink in for a minute. He wants you to break up with him so he isn't the bad guy. I would do him the favor and then be honest with anyone who asks what happened, because wow, what a set of dick moves. The fact that he brought up that he understands if you wanted to end the relationship tells me that he is looking for a way out. Sounds like he's just trying to push you to make the decision to leave so he doesn't have to be the one to do it. You should just leave him and move on. Hun, it's not that he is unable to take care of you. He is unwilling to take care of you. Massive difference. If you're not important enough to focus on after an appendectomy, who is to say anything else will make you important enough for him to put his focus where it ought to be? Friend, he's already proven himself. He's proven that he will not be there for you when you need him. Having health issues at some point is pretty much inevitable, and he has shown you who he loud and clear. You should end the relationship. You deserve better. I have nursed my partner through illness and injury, and he has done the same for me. It's not fun, but it's also a privilege to be there for someone you love. It's not a burden. If a person is only engaged in the relationship during the good times, and not also during the tough times, they either aren't truly committed to that particular relationship or shouldn't be in any relationship. Life isn't always sunshine and roses. I, 18M, accidentally liked another girl's story and she told my girlfriend, 18F, what do I do? Okay, so I believe this girl added me on IG. I followed her back to see if it was anyone I knew. By accident I must have liked one of her highlights of her when going through it without noticing. Then unfollowed her knowing she wasn't anyone I knew. Fast forward to the next day and I have my girlfriend sad and rightfully devastated with a screenshot of my liking her highlight. I explained to her it must have been by accident and told her I was trying to see if I knew her. I believe she believes me. She's telling me that it's put her off because it was scary having a girl DM her about her boyfriend. I was fully sympathetic and supportive. I believe I've handled this fuck up with maturity and well. I'd like some insights or some opinions on what I could do or anything. Thanks. Oh, to be young and this fucking stupid. Sad and rightfully devastated. You're both very young so I can somewhat understand the immaturity, but come on, my dudes. It's a social media post that you liked. LMAO. Rightfully devastated, over liking a post. Good luck. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the deal is over a social media like. Some people take it way too seriously. What kind of photo was it on? Are we talking a bikini pic or normal, clothed photo? So is liking someone's story now cheating? Exploding head. I'm so glad I'm not 18 anymore. My 25 F boyfriend 25 M tried to one-up my procedure. Is this narcissistic behavior? I 25 F am having a biopsy of a mass in my breast tomorrow. Tonight, I was sharing with my boyfriend 25 M how scared I am of the procedure tomorrow. I've had surgery before but never a procedure done while I am awake, and of course the fear of the results of said biopsy. My boyfriend's response to this situation was to go on a rant about how his wisdom teeth removal, which mind you was probably 8+ years ago before we were dating, was far more invasive and terrible than my biopsy would be, and that his gums were sawed open. I honestly was shocked by his response and told him that the two procedures could not be compared as they were completely different, and that the biopsy was somewhat invasive in itself. The situation turned into an argument of him trying to prove how his was worse. I told him I felt that his comparison was uncalled for, and he did the almost sarcastic, I am sorry raised back of hand light skin tone and told me I needed to get out of my box and see things from his point of view. Something just feels completely off about this situation. I feel like he cared more about proving he was right than my feelings about my biopsy. I'm trying to convince myself this was just a misunderstanding, but these behaviors make me think twice about our relationship. We've been together for over 3 years. Would you just forget about this, or do you think I should be more concerned by his behavior? Can't diagnose narcissism from one interaction, but he's definitely an asshole. It doesn't sound like a man who will look after you when you need him to. I'm not going to armchair diagnose someone as a narcissist based off one interaction, but let me tell you that it does not get any better. I ignored those early signs, and my now husband has continued to make every fucking thing a competition where he is the worst off. His thing is the hardest. He's put in more effort but nothing to show for it because the whole world is against him. I'm going to divorce him, but I wish someone had pointed this out about him while I was at your stage of the relationship so I could have just walked. So now I'm pointing it out to you. He tried to one-up you because he wanted to shut you up so he wouldn't have to comfort you anymore. Simply put, he's an asshole. Firstly, narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is a complex disorder that requires diagnosis from a professional who has years of experience. It's not something that can be determined off one experience. Secondly, let's assume for a second that he is. How does labeling him as a narcissist help you? What good would that do? Is your boyfriend an inconsiderate asshole lacking in empathy? Abso-fucking-lutely. But that doesn't make him a narcissist. Sometimes a jackass is just a jackass. I just got all my teeth pulled on 10/1 and implants put into my bottom jawbone, which is far worse than his wisdom teeth removal, and as a woman a breast biopsy is still more terrifying because yeah, I can get fake teeth but fake tits, and dealing with possible cancer and cancer treatments, surgery is way worse. That dude can go get bent. I'm so sorry op. My man would be supporting me, telling me not to worry until there is something to worry about. Take the day off to be with me and watch movies or game with me and just make me feel better. Honestly, it sounds like you can do a lot better. My fiance's 28M friends say they don't support him, and I's 29 female wedding should it happen? My fiance and I have been together for 4 years. I came into his friend group after a year and got along very well with his friends, I thought. They invited me places, hung out with me solo, and went on a bunch of trips together. Recently I threw one of the girls in the group, 25F, a small bach party because she got married with no ceremony. They got married at one of the trips I planned for my birthday, also by my now fiancé. The boys in the group planned a big bachelor party for her husband, 29M. I wasn't told till last minute and felt bad for her that she wasn't getting anything. So in 2 weeks I invited 2 girls from her college and another girlfriend in the friend group just to walk around downtown and eat and shop and go to a cat cafe. Stuff she loves doing. It went fine, a little frazzled but fine, and everyone said they had a good time. Fast forward 3 weeks when I'm trying to have a conversation with her about a trip we planned to go on together. She was very standoffish and rude. I asked her if she was okay and she told me I was overreacting. I tried to understand where she was coming from and said maybe we can talk in person because she's being very mean. A day passes and I find out that everyone in the friend group is mad at me and say all these issues they've had with me for 4 years and never brought up, and I didn't spend enough for her at her Bach party. I was very confused by all of this and tried talking to them all. None of them talked to me and went to my fiancé to tell him how much of a bad person I was. I went to them with my fiancé in person to try to talk to all of them, and they didn't let me talk and talked about my mental issues, how I make less than my fiancé, my unaliving attempts. All these things I told them in private, all just out in the open, to try to convince my fiancé to break off our engagement. I was and still am so confused. Fast forward 2 months now, we are trying to plan the wedding and his groomsmen keep telling him they don't support the wedding because I have issues. They admit what they did was wrong but refuse to apologize to me, but are sorry that he got hurt in the process. I keep telling my fiancé that I want them there for him, because they are his found family, but they are taking every chance they get to shit talk me and tell my fiancé I'm a bad person. I still have no idea why this came on after 4 years. No one has a definitive answer for me. My fiancé becomes so complacent when it comes to them and lets them just say whatever and then just tells me what they said after. I don't feel like I'll be happy in this marriage. Edit his and my sorry for the grammatically incorrect wording. Also, I understand that it seems one-sided. If you want more story of the situation, please go to my profile and see the original post. The friend's a shit, but so is your fiancé. So he hasn't said anything to discourage their behavior? He has stuck up for you? Or told you what their actual problem is? I'm confused about this. If my partner's friends talk shit about me like they have you and he didn't say a word, we wouldn't be together anymore. Girl, break up with him. Why do you want them there? Why are you still with this wet noodle of a fiancé? They don't respect either one of you and they seem like the ones with mental issues. At the very least, they are backstabbing two-faced bees who act like they're still in junior high. And this is all because one person didn't appreciate you bending over backwards for her when no one else from the friend group gave a rat's ass about her. Not one of them thought to do something for her new marriage, but you. Let them all go. Holy wow. What have your conversations with your fiancé about the situation been like? Being complacent when people are shit-talking you is wild. The proper response would to call them out the first time and cutting them out literally the second occurrence? I know this post is targeted about the friends, but I honestly think it should be focused on how your fiancé reacted and hasn't done anything yet. I need details on how this broad tricked everyone into turning your birthday trip into her free wedding. Oh my god, you know full fix well THST, they're all bad for you and especially your fiancé. He doesn't defend you. Why do you think marrying him will make him live you? It won't. He doesn't love you now, and he's not going to start. Leave. Find someone who likes you to start with. It's the right way to start a relationship. Step 1. They like you. But God, get rid of this hot mess. It will hurt, but do it or your life will go straight to hell.